It's one thing to defy gravity, but another to also defy the advice of doctors. Despite living with constant back pain, one teacher chooses to push her limits. Daniela Cato shares the inspiring story of a woman who found her passion in a sport that sometimes takes her to places where the temperature drops to 20 below zero.
I have to see it, I have to experience it, I have to do it.
During the day, Sharon Jensen Rugaber teaches at-risk students in Wauwatosa, youth who may be in danger of not meeting the standard academic goals.
We have kids who have this untapped genius that really just needs to be exposed. And how do we help them see that they can do things? Somewhere along the line, they stopped believing they could.
And in her spare time,
I love this building.
She works at the Milwaukee Turner's Climbing Gym, the second oldest in the country.
This is where I come to. This is my happy place. Okay.
That's the same mindset that Jensen Rugaber carries for herself. See, she opened up about a back injury she's had in her preteen years, which has gotten progressively worse.
So I had this bone growth and then some disc problems because of it. And it got to the point the pain was unbearable.
Jensen Rugaber's back began to impact her ability to run, a hobby that's pushed her to participate in a couple of marathons. She underwent a spinal surgery last year, and doctors told her even then she'd likely face permanent pain.
I cannot lay down or sit. I'm currently super almost ready for a break.
So we did. We took a break and resumed our interview standing up.
I had one doctor that I was seeing for my back who told me I could never run again, so I just didn't go back.
Her gym climbing manager, Kim Cosmides, was in disbelief. Until now, he had no clue she lives in such pain.
You had no idea?
No idea that she had the back issues. When she's climbing, she seems perfectly fine. When she's roaming around here, she seems perfectly fine.
Cosmides says it's actually not uncommon for people with disabilities to try rock climbing.
We had one young man who was paralyzed from the waist down who was climbing with us. So I've seen a lot of people do climbing with an assortment of disabilities, whether they're physical, emotional, cognitive kinds of disabilities, and have done really well in this sport because it does allow them to use their strengths.
Jensen Rugaber's strength is her determination. She says she barely sleeps and is currently unable to drive, but she keeps going.
I'm so angry, and a nice heavy little layer of denial on top of that, that I don't want the things I love being taken from me. All right. I want to decide what my limits are. I don't want my back or something that happened in the past that caused the damage to determine what I'm going to do with my today. I like the coming down.
She says it's all thanks to a friend who opened her eyes to the thrilling world of ice climbing.
And I go into her classroom and I was just looking at these posters on her wall, and I'm what is that? And she's like, that's ice climbing. And I'm like, that is literally the coolest thing ever. Is that you? And she's like, no. And I'm like, do you do that? And she goes, yes. And then she just looked at me, she's like, do you want to go? And I'm like, yes. Yes, I shall do that.
After 2 months of consistently waking up early to train and do physical therapy, they went to the Munising Ice Festival in Michigan.
You've got these sharp ice tools in your hand, and you're just raw, and and they go into the wall, and it's just all of a sudden you just feel this this rush of strength and power. And then at the same time, it was also the most peaceful because you have to focus so much on what you're doing, your mind just goes quiet, and it's just you and the ice.
Ice climbing is a male-dominated sport, and Jensen Rugaber hopes to be a leading example for other non-traditional climbers to push past the fear factor and try something new.
You have one life, and I just want to absorb as much as I can and see as much as I can. It's just taking that first step of just deciding I'm not going to sit here anymore. I have to get up and go do something.